So Sue Bird has been speaking out a bunch lately, bro. Which she always speak out, but it seems like she's speaking out a little more than usual, bro. So she spoke about the physicality of the league. Now we know the league is very physical, and to the sense she spoke about the former players that's in the league actually wearing these bruises like scars and war wounds type stuff.
Sue Bird just lit the internet on fire again, and this time it's all about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA turning into a full combat sport without the pads. You won't believe what Sue said that's got everyone from your grandma to your gym coach yelling at their phones. Did she spill the tea or just pour gasoline on it? Buckle up, because this viral moment is messier than a WNBA fast break with no refs in sight. Let's dive in.
Sue Bird is now calling out Caitlin Clark's teammates because she believes Caitlin Clark's teammates have to do something. I've said this myself. Something has to happen in order to free up Caitlin Clark to be able to get some open looks. She's great at making sure everybody else gets great shots. All right? And she's pretty good at creating her own shot. But it seems like, and part of this too is Stephanie White in one of her failures. The inability to get open shots for your star.
At this point, calling what Caitlin Clark has endured physicality is like calling a hurricane a light breeze. Let's just drop the charade. This isn't defense, it's demolition. The WNBA has somehow transformed from a professional league into a recurring episode of Gladiator's Optometrist Edition, with Caitlin's eyeballs playing the role of piñatas. Twice, yes, twice, she's had hands shoved into her eyes like someone was trying to pull a secret code out of her retinas. This is no longer basketball, it's an ocular horror film, and she's the final girl.
I just want to talk a little bit about the physicality of the league. There's so much conversation about it. Is it too physical? Is it not? All these things. And I think there's been this narrative that's gone around that we, and I'm going to include myself here, we as WNBA players talk about the physicality in our league with like a badge of honor, right? And I don't think that's the case at all. I personally don't feel that way. But when challenged about the physicality of the league and the historical physicality of the league, yes, we say, yes, this is a physical league.
And that's not even counting the body slams, because apparently guarding Caitlin Clark now includes a WWE contract, full with suplexes and shoulder blocks. Somewhere Vince McMahon is watching game highlights and taking notes. Let's be honest. She doesn't get screened, she gets scattered. There are fewer collisions on the highway than there are when Caitlin drives into the paint.
Can you name the 5 players you're anticipating will have a huge impact this season, under the radar players that you are enjoying this year?
Under the radar impact players. Ooh. Courtney Williams from the Minnesota Lynx. Sonia Citron.
I am a Chicago Sky fan, and we obviously traded the pick. And I also watched a ton of Notre Dame this year, and I was like, oh, that's going to be the person we draft. So the fact we traded that pick away and she started off so great, I'm a little bit sad about, but I'll let you continue.
You're one of many Chicago Sky fans feeling that. This isn't under the radar, but Natasha Cloud already showed her impact with the Liberty. I think that was like one of the biggest free agency gets. Natasha Howard with the Indiana Fever. I played with her in Seattle. This is like a perfect compliment to Caitlin, and she's just this glue player. You never have to run plays for her. She just like finds her own way, and it really allows for teams to thrive.
And what's the league's grand response to all this chaos? A gentle shrug and a corporate word salad. Because apparently, basketball is hard to officiate. Oh, groundbreaking. Water is wet. The sky is blue. But here's the real kicker. If it's so hard to officiate, why is the league hiring people who look like they got their ref certifications from a cereal box? We've got folks out here in stripes squinting at full sped assaults like they're seeing the game through a foggy car windshield.
Yeah. Well, real quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's work ethic?
Yeah.
Was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly.
Yeah.
And it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to go through the motions and like whatever. It was like, no, like I'm here to kick your butt in every single drill, every single practice. Like, and especially whenever our like gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like if you're across from me, you're my enemy, you know? And like, I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, you know, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her.
Honestly, the only thing they're good at is pretending not to see anything. Gold medal level acting. It's not that they miss a call here and there. That's human. What we're dealing with is full-scale officiating malpractice. Caitlin could be drop-kicked mid-air and someone with a whistle would still stare blankly like they're buffering. They're treating concussions like mild inconveniences and eye gouges like friendly taps. Caitlin isn't playing basketball, she's surviving it. And before anyone jumps in screaming about it's just the rookie treatment, please stop. Because in this version of evolution, the most dominant gene is the ability to commit felonies mid-dribble. Let's call it what it is, thuggery in high tops. We've gone beyond tough defense, we've entered the realm of unprovoked assault disguised as sportsmanship. And somehow, the league wants to spin it as competitive intensity. That's rich. If this is intensity, then waterboarding is just enthusiastic hydration.
So something that's been brought up a ton, especially since Caitlin got in the league last year, and now Paige has commented on the physicality of the WNBA. What do they mean by that?
One, officiating is a lot different. So I would say that is a separate but similar part. Like when you watch even like NBA or men's college, your star players get any call. Like you can like touch them with a little fingernail, they're going to the free throw line. In the W, they don't care.
You've got commentators acting like Caitlin should be proud to be targeted, as if getting jabbed in the cornea is some kind of twisted badge of honor. What's next? Wow, she took that elbow to the jaw like a champ. Sign of greatness. No, that's a sign she's going to need dental reconstruction before the All-Star break. And while we're on it, where is Kathy Engelberg during all of this? Oh right, issuing elegantly phrased non-responses that are more evasive than a politician at a lie detector test. According to her, the refs are doing just fine, the game is in a good place, and unicorns are real. It's all part of the growing pains, they say, but last time I checked, growing pains didn't come with potential retinal detachment and nightly whiplash. Here's the truth. The league wants the hype that comes with Caitlin's stardom. They want the sold-out arenas, the merch sales, the ratings boost. But they're not willing to protect the very player fueling their golden goose machine. They want the glitter without paying for security. Caitlin is out here doing a one-woman show while the rest of the league reenacts Fight Club WNBA edition.
NBA legend Sue Bird was in attendance for the game against the Seattle Storm. The former Storm great was able to pick up on something that might be holding Clark back and is causing her to work really hard on the offensive floor. It's been holding her back. I mean, she's getting no favors done by her coach or her teammates when it comes to being able to get an open look. I mean, it's just not happening. Quote, I got to watch Caitlin play in person in Seattle, and one thing I noticed was it would be really beneficial for her if she had players around her who could create shots for her.
You'd think a league desperate for viewership would, at bare minimum, invest in officials who can distinguish between defense and felonies. Instead, we've got zebras who apparently think physical abuse is just letting them play. We've got players throwing forearms like they're in a mosh pit and refs jogging away like they saw nothing. It's either willful ignorance or a league-wide case of cataracts. And don't even get started on the she needs to toughen up crowd. These people talk like she should be thanking defenders for the opportunity to lose a limb. She's been fouled so many times her highlight reel looks like a crime scene montage. Let's talk about consistency, or rather, the utter absence of it. Because if another star got slapped across the face on national TV, we'd have a full-scale investigation and 6 think pieces by Brunt. But with Caitlin, it's, oops, no whistle, better luck next play. There are Olympic judges more generous with their scoring than these refs are with foul calls, and even they wear glasses.
This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years, but they've been put out to be that because the way social media is today. So what kind of impact is this rookie class having in the WNBA?
How do you think Clark is handling this?
I think she talks a lot of and she gets a lot of back. So she deserves everything she gets because she gives it as good as she gets. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. So there's a lot of learning curve, like Diana said. And when she gets it, she has elite skills that are going to really help her. She needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced.
Meanwhile, players who've never sniffed this level of fame are turning every matchup into a personal vendetta. It's like Caitlin walks onto the court and suddenly everyone else's trauma gets projected onto her forehead. She's not just the opponent, she's the emotional punching bag for the league's insecurity. And the referees? They're out here filming a nature documentary titled Watch the Lioness Get Mauled. But sure, keep calling it tough defense. Keep pretending like raking someone's eyes is just part of the game. Maybe next week someone will show up with a folding chair and will pretend it's innovative screening. You can't market a superstar and then toss her into the Thunderdome. Either you value the players or you value the chaos. And right now the league is leaning hard into the latter, like a teenager discovering reality TV for the first time. And the real danger? It's not just physical, it's narrative. Because once fans start associating your product with violence instead of athleticism, you lose the very thing that makes people care. And when the highlight of the game is someone getting clobbered with no repercussions, you're not building respect. You're manufacturing memes. And Caitlin Clark is not here to be a meme. She's here to change the game, not survive a hostage situation in a jersey.
Caitlin Clark has been getting beat down this year. She has been the center of national attention for going on 24, if not 36 months straight. Slick, eventually this has to take a hold, not just on your physical body, on your emotional body as well. You've been watching the WNBA. You've been watching women's basketball. You have a daughter who's currently playing college basketball for a very long time. So let's start with the most important question of the day. Glad y'all are here for this one. Are you worried about Caitlin Clark long term?
No, I am not. Every great athlete goes through this, particularly great athletes who are breaking barriers. And I think that Caitlin Clark is doing exactly that.
So maybe, just maybe, it's time the league stops treating officiating like an entry-level internship. Maybe it's time to stop acting like every flagrant foul is some ambiguous interpretive dance. And maybe, wild idea, hire referees who don't need a replay, a seance, and a personal revelation to call obvious contact. Because at this rate, the only thing rising faster than Caitlin's scoring average is her chances of ending the season in a body cast. And through all of it, she keeps playing, keeps competing, keeps smiling through the bruises, the hacks, the eye pokes, the whiplash. Because as long as incompetence is running the stripes and thuggery is running the court, Caitlin Clark might need more than just a timeout. She might need a full helmet and liability insurance. If WNBA referees actually called fouls like they were paid to, Caitlin Clark would be living at the free throw line, 10 trips per game minimum. She'd have frequent flyer miles just from getting hacked every possession. By now, she'd qualify for TSA pre-check on the way to the charity stripe. And if she did get those 10 freebies a night, we're talking an easy 30 points per game. But no, we can't have that because apparently the league has a strict no fun, no stardom policy when it comes to players who actually bring eyeballs to the sport.
If everyone can stop the pearl clutching for just a minute, and I say that as a turn of phrase, not because it's women's basketball, you'd realize this is the best thing imaginable for this league. And listen, I said this back when Caitlin was at Iowa, and everyone was, I thought, being overly protective of her, and I thought a lot of that had to do with like, oh, this little white girl in a black sport. And I was like, man, she is a badass and a trash talker and gives it as good as she gets it. And she is an object of scorn for good reason.
See, the math is simple. Caitlin drops 20 without breaking a sweat, even with defenders treating her like a human tackling dummy. Add 10 free throws, half of which come from being whacked like a piñata on the way to the rim, and suddenly she's not just a rookie, she's a statistical nuclear bomb. But the league knows that, and it terrifies them, because if Caitlin starts averaging 30, every single dusty, bitter, underperforming vet who's been clinging to their 6 doing per game average for 5 years suddenly looks real replaceable, and that cannot happen. So, what do we get instead? Whistles swallowed like they're on a diet. The logic is as broken as a shopping cart with 3 busted wheels. And the best part? These WNBA players keep talking about physicality like it's a badge of honor. They say it with their whole chest, as if it's this elevated, sacred rite of passage. They act like grabbing jerseys, elbowing kidneys, and face-checking a shooter is part of the noble tradition of basketball. Meanwhile, NFL players, people who actually get hit for a living, aren't out here crying about how physical their sport is. Why? Because they signed up for it. They know the job comes with bruises. They don't feel the need to explain it on every podcast.
Particularly the likes of Caitlin Clark. The others I named, Sha'Carri Richardson, you could suggest was it famous at a time, and Naomi Osaka, when you think international, is famous for a point in time. Nobody has had to deal with the things that Caitlin Clark has had to deal with, and the few women and men who have all underperformed at times and attributed the weight of the world to their underperformance. Simone Biles included, 2021 Olympics. Go back and do your research.
So to that end, what's your answer? You are worried long term?
I am absolutely worried. I'm absolutely worried long term. I'm absolutely worried because everybody who's had to go through what Caitlin has had to go through hasn't left unscathed.
But in the W, physicality is the excuse. It's the blanket term tossed over every headlock, hip check, and full body collision. You hear someone say, that's just WNBA physicality, and you know they're trying to explain away something that looks like a felony. If NFL linebackers who spend 60 minutes every Sunday ramming into human walls aren't constantly whining about how physical the game is, maybe, just maybe, it's because they're not trying to use it as cover for dirty play. Basketball isn't supposed to be that way. It's not cage fighting. It's because the sport recognizes there's a line, and once you cross it, it's not grit, it's garbage. Caitlin gets to 30 points a game, the media narrative shifts. The old guard gets shoved out of the spotlight. The physicality angle no longer works when one player is dancing around the goon squad and still lighting up the scoreboard. So instead, we get a weird mix of gaslighting and referee and roulette. Some nights they call a bump on the perimeter. Other nights they don't call it when someone swings at her like she insulted their dog.
I'm starting to believe a lot of people just hate Caitlin Clark because she's white. Like, I just don't understand why people try to say that, oh, the only reason why Caitlin Clark is getting fame in the WNBA because she's a white girl who is playing the sport or whatnot. But, like, my whole thing is, though, it's just like the WNBA has been in a decline for the longest, and the only reason why the WNBA is even in all of these talks and these spaces and then these conversations, whatever, is because of Caitlin Clark.
Meanwhile, Caitlin just keeps moving, keeps playing, keeps scoring, keeps absorbing hits that would have Shaq reaching for an ice pack, and still no calls. If she wants a foul, she'd be better off filing a police report than expecting a whistle, because let's be real, unless someone brings out brass knuckles, there's a 50/50 shot the refs will shrug and tell her to play through it. And that's the whole game, right? Suppress her numbers, minimize her impact, keep her in check. Because if she starts racking up MVP stats before the halfway mark of the season, the carefully curated hierarchy of the league gets torn down faster than a toddler's Lego tower. So yeah, keep pretending this is normal. Keep using physicality like a magic spell to excuse straight-up assaults, but the clock's ticking, because sooner or later, the numbers are going to speak too loudly to ignore. And when that happens, no amount of face raking, jersey pulling, or spine realigning will stop what's coming.